I'm Margot from Thimbles Things. I'm here to show you how to make a jelly roll rug. We teach these classes during the times when we do have classes. This is the pattern for the jelly roll rug. You can see two of them on the table here. This one I've just finished. This one, well, I won't lie to you, I've been doing jelly roll rugs the whole time I've been self-isolating. One of the first things I want to say when you do a jelly roll rug is it's very easy just to take the jelly roll, open it up, and start sewing right from the center. You don't have to do any kind of mix and matching colors because the manufacturers have already done that for you. The only caveat to that would be to save the dark colors for the outside because that gives it some kind of frame. But other than that, just open the sucker up and start joining your strips. What you're going to do is take each strip, join it together on the diagonal until you have one huge long strip. Then you take your batting, and the batting is about, I cut it 2 1/4. These are 2 1/2 inches. I cut the batting 2 1/4 just so it has a little bit of edge to it. You're going to zigzag all your batting together like this, or tape it together just so you have one long strip. Your third step, and this is the big one, is to take this strip here, place the batting inside so it looks like this. You're going to fold the top down, the right side in, the left side in. Make sure that they meet in the middle. Now we use this handy dandy sasher, which has been fantastic because it holds everything in place and it slides, so you can slide it up and down, and it will help you fold it in half and keep it folded in half. So my recommendation would be that this is an essential tool for you. So once you've got the strip folded in half this way, folded in half that way to the middle, you basically just fold that in half again. And this becomes your cord. Okay? The cord, we'll take this one. This is what it ends up looking like. So when you've got these two, here I'm going too fast for you here, sorry. When you've got these two sides folded into the center and then you fold those in half, you're going to put this in the machine and you're going to sew 1/4 inch down. It almost looks like the center of the strip, but 1/4 inch in. Don't be tempted to sew right at the very edge because that'll give you a wonky cord. So 1/4 inch in from the edge, it'll look like it's almost in the middle. What it ends up looking like is something like this. Everybody's inside. You captured all the edges, all the batting, all the strips. Everybody is inside, and there's your 1/4 inch seam. So this you do for hours on end to end up with, you may end up with a ball like this if you do the whole jelly roll. Or sometimes in the classes, because that can get a little tedious, we just do the first 10 strips. Up to you, whichever you want to do. If you do the first 10 strips of the jelly roll, then you can get to the sewing part faster and it's a little more interesting. This is what your cord will look like. At the very end of your cord, the last piece, which is the dark, you're going to taper the end like this. So basically what you do is fold your strip in half, about 1/2 inch up from the end here and 6 inches in from the end here. So from that point to that point, and then you can see it's just cut on the taper. And this is so that at the end of the rug you can just very gently kind of slide it in under the rug and tuck it in. All right, so there's your cord. Now, to start your rug, you take the cord and you measure 17 inches. There's your 17 inches. The double edges, we call them the lips. The double edges go to the left, so it's lips to the left. Take your 17 inches, fold over the rest of the cord so that you can see at the front both pieces of the cord, and you're going to start to zigzag back and forth here until reasonable that you get them to butt together. Okay, I'll do that again. You take the 17-inch cord, you bring the back of it over to the front so you can see both double edges, and you start zigzagging right here until you can get them to butt together, and then you just keep zigzagging all the way down. When you get to the bottom, to the blunt end here, you're going to have to ease this side around the corner. So without putting this in my teeth, I'll see if I can show you here. You've got both double edges or the lips facing to the left. You've sewn all the way down here to the end of the, almost the end of the blunt end. And then you make all kinds of, don't be afraid to make bumps and lumps and wrinkles to get this around the bottom like that. Okay, I know that looks a little itchy, and that's okay. To have these bumps, to have these little loops, that's fine. What you don't want to do is to pull this edge tight, otherwise you're going to end up with a basket. So what will happen at the end of that first exercise is you're going to end up with something that looks like this. Now, the inclination of the cord once you sew it is to, when you're going around the corner, is to curl upwards. So it's going to want to do this. If you give it lots of room, lots of bumps, lots of wrinkles, that lessens it. So when you sew around the top and then you sew around the bottom, do it twice. So you're on your first time around, sew it down to the bottom, around, up to the top again. Take it out and take it to the ironing board, spray it, and be very aggressive with the iron to get that flat. You can pull on it, you can slam the iron on it. Don't be afraid to be aggressive, and what will happen is that the cord will kind of fold in on itself. So you always want, whenever you put this back in the machine, you always want it to look like this, like a biscuit. If it looks like this, then don't continue sewing, because that's just going to keep the curve going, and then you'll end up with a basket. The other thing that happens at the beginning of the rug is sometimes, because one end is kind of pointed and one end is blunt, sometimes it'll kidney. So you'll end up with your first two rows, they'll kind of look like they're skewing to one side or the other. Again, take it out, spray it, pull it, and place it on the ironing board and aggressively iron that until it's straight. Okay, don't be afraid of the iron, it's a good thing. And that's it. About the fourth or fifth time around the rug, fourth or fifth revolution, you should start to be able to keep it flat without having to take it out. If you do see it curl like this, take it out immediately and iron it. Again, I can't say it enough, but don't continue to sew if the rug is curled. Make sure it's flat like a biscuit and you'll be good to go. It gets easier the more you go. Two other things. Your thread tension is 5.5. This is the stitch width, 5.5, and your stitch length is 2. So every machine is different, so play with yours for a bit. The point of the 5.5 is that you reach both sides of the cord, okay, so that you've reached both sides from here to here. And the purpose of the length being 2 is that it's pretty dense. You don't want to have it really far apart, because then you'll have gaps. The other thing is, if you find your machine, I hope you can see this, if you find your zigzag is doing this, so it goes zig, 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 same thing, change your needle. We start with the jeans denim needle because you're going through a lot of stuff. Sometimes the denim needle will skip stitches like this, so move to a stretch needle. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does work. And the stretch needle will stop this kind of mistake. Okay? Yeah, I guess that's it. That's the other thing. When you wash it, whoops. When you wash it, don't be afraid. It's going to look like this. Is that, can they see? Okay, it's going to look like that. Don't put it in the dryer. Wash it in a cold wash. Hang it over the fence or over the shower curtain rod, and then iron it when it's damp. And again, I'll go back and say it again. If it does look like this as you're sewing, don't continue to sew. Press that sucker until it's completely flat. Okay, good. My name is Margot Brown, Margot with a T. You can contact me through the shop if you have any questions, and good luck and enjoy.